Okay, what's going on? Vincent Rapisardi, Big Blue on Bias.com. I haven't done one of these news-style analysis style videos in about a week or so. There really hasn't been much Giants news. What I have been doing are mock drafts. I did a 3-round mock draft yesterday and a 7-round mock draft the other day. As I mentioned in my mock drafts, I'm going to try and do them every day. And I know that seems like overkill, but that's the point. So we can learn more about this draft class. And let's be honest, there's really not much else to talk about at this point in the offseason. There's really not much to talk about except for the draft. So why not continue to talk about potential prospects that the New York Giants could go ahead and select in the draft? We'll do it every day. We'll do a mock draft. We'll do a 3-round mock draft every day. And then we'll mix in maybe once a week a 7-round mock draft. And we'll learn. Look, I didn't grow up a huge college football fan. I'm from Long Island. College football is not like the biggest thing in the world up there. It's just like, okay, it's cool. You watch some of the major teams, and that's really it. But I do like college football, and I just want to learn more. And I think there's many other people who want to learn more about this class, and that's what we're going to do. And it kind of reminds me of I think these videos can kind of remind me of just like playing Madden, where you play Madden, you learn new players here and there. I know it sounds kind of dumb, playing a video game. But you do learn the names of players, what teams they played for, what college they went to. Even just playing a video game, you can pick up on those little things and kind of remember. And I don't know. That's how I learned about many players and teams and colleges that they attended through playing Madden. That's kind of how I learned it when I was young. So hopefully with these videos, we can learn about this draft class and just pick up on a couple players here and there. By the time the draft rolls around, we should have a good database of information on most of this draft class if we continue to do these mock drafts. And some people have said, oh, so-and-so's available. Why don't you take him? I go in there with kind of a pre-scripted mock draft. And if the player's not available, then I just redo the mock draft. So I go into each mock draft with a pre-scripted mock draft. It's not necessarily about, oh, who's best available and let me take him. So understand that too with the mock drafts. It's more about just learning the players than it is just about who's the best pick for the Giants. Because after a while, if you do a mock draft every day, I mean, you're going to have a bunch of different combinations. So that's that. That's my intro. Long intro, but I kind of wanted to brief you guys on that. So let's talk about some Giants news. We have some Giants news finally. I feel like it's been like a week with nothing. Russ Callaway, the Giants have hired. He was an offensive analyst at LSU. He is now an offensive assistant with the New York Giants. Him and Joe Judge, they worked together at Alabama, of course, right? That Alabama-Joe Judge connection back in like 2011. I think what's interesting is with many of these hires, these coaching hires that they've had since Judge has taken over, a lot of college hires, I think they're trying to build their team like a college football team in the sense of team, like an actual team. If you get where I'm going here. It doesn't guarantee that they're going to win football games, but in terms of a more group-oriented team, not just about one player, not just about a diva wide receiver making $20 million a year. Okay, I think the Giants are really trying to transition, and they've already have, but they're transitioning from that Odell Beckham era where it was all about him, it was all about one player, and now they're transitioning more to a team. And that's where I kind of sense that college football kind of goal in terms of building their team and creating more of a team where it's all about the group and not just about one guy. And that's kind of tough to find in professional sports these days. I feel like a lot of it is about 1 or 2, 3 guys that get paid a lot of money, big ego, big name, and that's kind of a lot of teams cater towards those players. So that's what I think they're trying to avoid. They're trying to create that culture with a lot of young players. You know, look, it's a lot easier, I think, to create that kind of college football team-like culture when you have younger players who haven't yet proved themselves. So they don't have that massive ego like, hey, I've been to 4 Pro Bowls and I could say and do whatever I want and whatever, you know. And I run this locker room. So when you have younger guys, it's easier, I would think, to be able to kind of create a more team-friendly culture instead of a me-friendly culture. So that's just one aspect. I know I talk a lot of analytics, but I do think that part of the game is valuable. Now, that doesn't guarantee success. Let's understand that you need good players. You need talent. If you don't, I don't know. I think it's not all about the team-oriented thing. You still need good players, and at the end of the day, even if you have selfish players or egotistical players, if you win, nobody cares. So they still got to win. They still got to put it together on the football field, or else nobody's going to care. But this is clearly part of their plan to build a better locker room and a better team atmosphere. So that is one piece of news. Daniel Jones he's working with teammates in Arizona, wide receivers, tight ends, some offensive linemen. He's getting those guys together, and he's working with them during this offseason, showing some leadership. That's what you want to see from your potential franchise quarterback. I think this is obviously a make-or-break year for Daniel Jones. Last year, statistically, did not pop off the page. I don't think he got much help, and I think he needed help. He's still a young quarterback, and I think he needs some help. He didn't get it from his offensive line for most of the year. And his wide receivers were not very productive, and that's why Golden Tate is gone. Sterling Shepard had some injury issues. Evan Ingram was not good. Oof, 11 drops last season for Evan Ingram. I think a passer rating around 55 when he was targeted, so he needs more help. Daniel Jones needs more help. Kenny Golladay will obviously provide a big boost, and maybe they do something else in the first 2 or 3 rounds, adding a wide receiver or tight end to give him some more weapons, some more talent on the offensive side of the football. They got Kyle Rudolph, too, who's a dependable tight end, dropped 1 pass over the last 3 years. So that's that. Daniel Jones showing some leadership skills, and that's what you want to see.